So hey, this is David Jose, as you know me on Facebook. I decided to put out a video to help you guys to understand some of the things that are happening today. And as someone asked me on Facebook, is this going to be something I'm trying to sell? No, it's not something I'm trying to sell. It's just, knowledge that the world has lost. Is something that a collective group of people have come together to purposely deceive people. And it's funny because a lot of people are online and they're talking about these groups like the Illuminati and the Masons and all these groups and, the Jesuits and all these people who have a big part in what happens in the world today. Well, the thing is, being an investor that has done a lot of business, that have helped a lot of people make a lot of money, some things start to happen. People start to talk to you, and they start to tell you of things that you might not have wanted to hear. And in the midst of my study, in the midst of my observation, in the midst of talking to people, in the midst of doing business, I have found that there are some things that are going on that's crazy. And what I want to do today is break it down to you and show you a simple solution to some of the things that you've been dealing with. I want to show you how you've been purposely trained to fail. Purposely trained. Now, the thing is, for a lot of you guys, you know that I believe in God 100% wholeheartedly. But even if you don't, I want you to just hear something so you can understand how easy it is for someone to trick people if they could just get them to believe in something stupid. So I want to show you that over the years, one of the techniques that have been used against us to keep us from moving forward, to keep us from doing business, to keep us from making money in life, is what's called Egyptology. And you'll see Oprah, she'll push The Secret. You'll see, Will Smith talking about willing stuff into your life and just make a decision and it's just going to happen. And you see all these people talking about vision boards and stuff like that. And what they're doing is they're getting you to believe that if you can just vision something in your mind and you can think about it, that this is what's going to make you a ton of money and is going to help you to move forward and you're going to do well. You're going to be powerful. Everybody's going to know you. You're going to be the greatest thing since Elvis. Well, the truth is all a lie. And there's many, preachers who are prosperity teachers who are teaching this same type of idea. You need to have a vision and, you're going to make all this money off of it and blah, 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 blah. But the sad thing that you'll find is like the godfather of big business. You'll see there's a guy named Peter Drucker. Peter actually is a guy who went from helping people to make all this money in big business and setting all these big businesses up to going into helping and funding the mega churches that you see on TV today. And it's kind of a weird connection. You also see a great connection between them and a couple of people, one being named Madame Blavatsky. She's a lady from the past who had these beliefs about society, and she was one that wanted to push forward the New World Order. And a lot of people think that's fake, but it's real. You hear the presidents always talking, we need a new world order, we need a new world order, we need a new world order. And what they're doing is they're preparing people to be the middle class and the lower class to be slaves. This is part of their goal. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Look up Agenda 21. Look up these different things. And not only is this video free, but every time I do videos like this, stuff in my life start going crazy. So you might not believe it, but I've had some battles and some bouts, bouts with some of the biggest, groups that are doing evil things, and is not always the best for me. I'll tell you like that. So the thing is, it's not just free, but my life becomes on the line for just revealing stuff like this. But I want to tell you that these people, they're all connected. When Hitler did what he did to destroy Austria, he used some of the same connections. He used books written by the same people that we're being deceived by today. And it's just crazy that people don't see this. But you look at somebody like Will Smith who says, hey, if you could just in your mind just decide that your life is going to be this way, it'll happen. Well, you must realize that if Will Smith takes off his shirt, he's ripped up, he's buff as heck. he doesn't just get that by sitting there and imagining that something happens. The very things that he tells you to do, the imagining and focusing and letting your mind see this, that's not the things that's going to help you to get to where you need to go. You do need to have a vision, but the biggest thing is to get out there and to do the work, to push yourself, to take the appropriate steps with applied knowledge to get to where you need to be. If you look at Oprah, she didn't get on her movies when she was younger and not learn the script or whatever. She didn't go and just do this without studying and without practicing and without getting better and better and better. She learned and she did something. She didn't just go and think that this Egyptian way of thinking that if I just think this, everything is going to get better. But I see all these people with vision boards and they've had them for years and nothing happens, and they'll go with decades and nothing happens, and they are sold a dream that is fake. But what I'm trying to show you is that if you get out there and do something, if you push yourself to take massive action, if you push yourself to do things that you would have never done, if you throw yourself into embarrassing situations and just do it, you'll find that you'll be able to be way more successful. You'll kick way more butt. And this is what my people are doing. I'm forcing them to take action and not giving them an excuse. Even if you look at Vincent Polisi, he's doing the same thing, forcing people to take action, not making an excuse. But I want to read something to you so you can understand, like this Egyptology. You see that everybody's talking about Egypt and the Egyptian way to do this and Egyptian that. And you see, look at Michael Jackson's old videos and you see all this Egypt stuff. And, and they try to make it look like this stuff is good. That stuff is done for a reason. They want you to respect Egypt and Egyptology, because you'll find that some of the biggest sources of things that destroy our faith when it comes to God comes from that. And I know some people don't like me to talk about God. I really don't care. It's the truth. So I'm going to read you something, and I want you to hear this, and I want you to tell me what you think about this, because it's huge and it's going to give you the answer to a lot of your issues. It's going to say, and sorry for my phone volume, but it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, and this is from Isaiah 30 in the King James Bible, which is the only Bible I read, but it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me." So it's funny, if you want to take counsel, you would think you would want to take counsel from the one that's the wisest being that exists, but people don't. So it says, "Take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." So people are they're trying to find counsel and knowledge and information, but they're not finding it by God's mouth. They're finding it on their own, and it's not from God's spirit, it's from something else. Now watch this. "They walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt." And this is what people are trying to get us to do. They're trying to get us to believe that if we look at Egyptology and these different things, that it has all these vast secrets and these great amounts of revelations for us to get better. But watch how God explains what this stuff will do to you. "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." So you fool around and you get into these things and you find out that it doesn't help you. You're not moving forward. You're spending your money on these programs and these different things and these books, and you still are in a position where you feel like you suck. So it's bad. So let's look. We're going to skip down to verse 5. It says, "They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be an help, nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach." So we're going to go down a little bit further, and this is funny. Let's look at this one. "The burden of the beasts of the south, into the land of trouble and anguish, from whence come the young and old lion, the viper, the fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulder of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them." So it's the same thing we see today. People going after all these belief systems and this crazy stuff. They're giving up everything they have, and it does nothing for them. Now watch this. "For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still." Now it's funny that it says their strength is to sit still. People will get you to believe that, excuse these flies, I'm near farm area, so. But these people will get you to believe that if you will think about something and just sit there and ask it into your life. And a lot of the people in the mega churches tell you, you know, you need to pray this stuff into your life. You need to do this and you need to do that. Well, God never said you just needed to pray something into your life. God also said that you know, that there's profit in all labor. You should get up and do the work. The Bible tells you to look at the ant, and you see the ant up working, moving, doing the things that it needs to do early in the morning in order to get to where it needs to be. But for some reason, we get tricked as people to think that if we just live and just ask for things and pray for things and don't do anything, that we'll be okay. And this is the worst thing in the world to believe, because God wants us to get up and take action. He wants us to use our hands to build things and to do things and to help us to make it to where we need to be, and to help us to have the wealth we need to take care of our children's children. But we're getting tricked. The last thing I want you to see in this verse, it says their strength is to sit still, so they'll have you do nothing. And, you know, that's very important, because a lot of times people are praying and they're trying to find their way and they're lost and they're in pain and they're struggling, and people tell them to go make a vision board or go look at some cars or whatever and a big old house and just imagine that it was yours and just keep looking at it, keep looking at it, keep looking at it. You know, to keep looking at something that you cannot afford will drive you crazy, because all you'll do is lust after and want it really bad, but you'll never be able to get your hands on it. It'll destroy your heart. That's true. So let's look at how serious this was to God. He says, now go write it before them in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, that will not hear the law of the Lord. Now, the funny thing is, I'm going to give you this last part of it because it's important for something I'm going to say to prove to you that these people are liars. But if you look at it, it says, good darn flies, which say to the seers, see not, and say to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel, talking about Jesus, to cease from before us. Now, I'm going to show you how serious this thing is. So these people don't like the idea of us knowing the truth. They want us to believe in lies. Their whole purpose, the whole time, if you look at Oprah talking about her Christ consciousness and all this bull, and there's many different ways to do what God said. There's one word that God left. I don't know how there's many different ways. That's foolishness. But people are able to trick us because they're fame and fortune. But you have to understand that these people are very well connected to each other. They are getting paid by each other to teach you foolishness. They don't want you to be wealthy, because their whole goal is to have an earth where the peons, the people who don't follow their way of believing, they lose everything and they don't have anything. So they don't want you to have money. They don't want you to be wealthy. They don't want you to be intelligent and informed. They want you to struggle. So I'm letting you know that the only way that you're going to change things is to be active and to get out there and actually do something. These flies, I'm going crazy. To get active and get out there and do something and to change the way that things are going by not only just praying for it and asking God for it, but getting out there and doing the work so He can bless your hands and give you a reward for the seed that you're sowing. Now, to end this, to let you see that how slick these people are, Madame Blavatsky and a lot of the other guys, a lot of the big preachers today are ran by the group called the Jesuits. And I can show you later on if you want to see. They're the people who started the Federal Reserve along with Rome, the Catholic Church. The Federal Reserve, a lot of these financial institutions, the foreign banks that our government is giving away all this money to for free, and they're ripping us off. These guys are all the same. So I'm going to show you how these guys in 1881, they even took part in making the different Bible versions, and all the ones after 1881 and all the ones before came from somewhere different. And a lot of people are arguing, and a lot of people are losing their faith because they're saying that the Bible has errors. Well, I'm going to show you that it's not that the Bible has errors, but the whole situation is these guys got a hold to it, and I'm going to show you how in 1881, under a man named Martini, who was a Jesuit priest, I'm going to show you how they made changes to all the new versions of the Bible to help encourage you staying in foolishness. And guess where they got all the Bible manuscripts that they used to change everything from? From Egypt. So they have what's called the Sinaiticus and the Vaticanus, which you'll see came through Egypt and ended up in the Vatican Library. These manuscripts are totally different, and they've snuck them into society, and it's so crazy, but I want you guys to check this. They snuck them into society. I'm going to show you one of the most blatant things that proves that this is the case. Well, for many of us who know anything about the Bible, we know that Satan fell from heaven, Lucifer. So what I'm going to do to let you see this real quick so you can prove if I'm lying or not about this Egyptology and how powerful these people are and how they want to deceive you and make you stupid. If we look at Isaiah 14:12, and this knowledge that I have is the knowledge that lets me know to go the opposite way of most people when I do the things I do in business. But Isaiah 14:12, in the King James Version, we're going to see something that the Bible says. And it can only be one or the other, so it can't be both. But Isaiah 14:12, it says, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, that's Satan, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations. So the Bible right here is showing that Lucifer is the one who weakened the nations. So I'm putting it up there so you guys can see it. Okay? So Lucifer weakened the nations. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the NIV, and you're going to find the United Bible Society got together, and they're Jesuits and a lot of guys who are part of these same secret societies, the same guys believing in this Egyptology, all connected. Now, the thing is, God's word can't lie. So if two different Bibles say two directly opposing things, then there's no way that it could be the same. So I'm going to read to you from the NIV and let you see what it says. This says, Isaiah 14, verse 12. Hold on, let me get it for you. This video is kind of long, but I had to break this down and show it. Isaiah 14:12 says, How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. Now, let's look at this. So I'm going to try to put it in front of you so you can see. Let's see if we can do it. It's going to be a little hard, but okay. So if you look right here, you see Isaiah 14, and there's verse 12, if you look like midway down the page, and it says, How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star. Now, this is very important because I want you to show you how silly these guys are and how quickly they can deceive people and what their purpose are. And if you look at it, we all get, for those of us who love God, we get serious about our Bibles. And so watch, people are going to get upset with me about this, but this can't be explained unless something happened. So we're going to look at Revelation, and we're going to go to chapter 22. Let's see if I can get there. Revelation chapter 22, as the last book of the Bible. And we're going to look at verse 16, and we're going to see what Jesus calls himself. Now, the one Bible said Lucifer fell from heaven. Now, the other Bible is going to say somebody else fell from heaven. Now, let's see what this says. It says, see if we can get this so you guys can see it. It says, I, Jesus, have sent my angel, so this is Jesus talking, to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. Now, Jesus calls himself the bright and morning star. That means he's the morning star. So tell me, how in the world is it that in this world today where people think they're so intelligent and they're trying to get you to believe so many different types of things, and even for those of us who believe in God, we many times want to believe that we're so safe and we're so smart and we're so wise, but how is it that somebody can sneak something into the new Bible versions that we don't even realize that this Bible version, one of them said it was Lucifer that fell from heaven. The other one changed the name to the name that Jesus gave himself. And if you look at any of the manuscripts that came from anywhere other than Egypt, it never said, or the ones in Egypt, it never uses the word star in that verse in any language. But these guys are using this to tell you that Jesus fell from heaven. Now, if you don't understand that these occult sick people don't have your best interests in mind, and that they are not trying to confuse you and destroy you in life and business, then you're going to have some big problems. I'm here to let you know that these are some very powerful people. If you look at Kennedy dying, they took part in it. If you look at Abraham Lincoln, there's actually documents that show that they took part in it. And they take part in the mass disinformation of people. And this is why it's so hard for us to move forward at business. This is why it's so hard for us to do well and to kick butt, is because there's people who are working against the very wisdom that God has given us to make things happen. And I know, like I said, some of you don't like the fact that I'm talking about God. Some of you might not like the fact that I talk about Bible versions. It really does not matter, because if I'm going to be true and I'm going to be right, I have to tell the truth. And you already know I don't have very many friends. A lot of people don't like the fact that I say things that are opposite to them in real estate, opposite to what they say when it comes to religion. I believe in God. I'm a full-fledged Christian. I could be nothing else. But I'm letting you know that your knowledge and your wisdom and your life and the things that you believe in and the family that you love, they're all put in jeopardy over this false teaching, over this Egyptology. And they're bringing the Egyptology into all facets of life in order to lower people down, because there's no need for everybody to be wealthy if somebody is going to have power. So as long as you are locked down from the truth and you can't be show what's really happening and how these people are trying to affect you and take your faith away from you, you'll never stand up. You'll never do anything that is different. You'll never make the wealth that you need to take care of your family, because we're not just talking about being filthy rich. We're just talking about the money you need to take care of family. It seems like it's getting harder and harder and harder. And the reason it's getting harder is because people have changed the way that you would think, and molded you from a child. If you look at a lot of the curriculums in the school study, they teach us about Aristotle and Plato. That's some of the same Egyptology and the same type of teaching that they use to keep us from being successful. And these guys who created these different thought processes, and I'm actually, a major in psychology, these same guys who have created these same thought processes actually said that they wanted to take children away from their parents and separate them so people could take over society. They did studies to show how to weaken the parents, to weaken the families, to weaken the people, to get their minds caught up in all types of things that will stop them from being successful, because they felt like you were lower than them. So this is my video. It is yours. I want you to realize that it's going to take massive action. It's going to take for you to think in a different way. It's going to take you to do things that you would have never done before in order to get yourself going. This video is almost 25 minutes. I don't think I've done one that long. But this is something that's very important to me and something that is made to help you. So no matter what business it is that you're trying to do, you have to realize that you have to do a couple of things. You have to start taking massive action. And that massive action has to be based around people, helping people to get what they need. So no matter what it is that you're trying to do, I want you to understand that you must first go and see what the people need. Ask them, say, hey, what is it I can do for you that would help your business to be better? What can I bring you that will help you to be able to function in a better way? And when you bring your different gifts and your different abilities forth to the people, you'll find that they're going to offer you opportunities to generate income with them. So if you learn to serve and be worried about another man's wealth before your own, you'll actually learn to be as wealthy as you need to be to deal with the things that you need to deal with. So this is your video. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you who are going to get mad, it doesn't matter. I knew it was going to happen anyway. Y'all have a good day.